They have their own language. They don't identify as Spanish. They're Basque. And with the distinct cultural identity comes a rich, complex, and proud cuisine. Home to the Basque cheesecake, you'll hear the splatter of sidra being poured from up high, bar counters decorated with delicious pintxos, and music playing in the air. 4 days was definitely not enough to bask in the rich culture that Basque country has to offer, but here is my little glimpse. Good morning. Reporting live from Barcelona. There's a full moon party. It's right here. It's not in Bali, it's in Barcelona. So Kevin and I, we arrived late last night and then we checked into our hotel and there was a really cute tapas bar. So we went in, drank a bunch of wine, and I ate so many of these little anchovies with pickled peppers and just OD'd on sodium. So this is what happens when you do that. Right now it's 8:30 a.m. in the morning and we're just gonna walk around the city and see people going to work while we are freelancers. What do you want? I'm gonna get a cappuccino. ¿A dos cappuccino, por favor? Oh. For here.
For here, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're gonna do a little 10K walk because we're gonna be on the road all day, and we have around 6.5 hours of driving today. Get our steps in. Oh, it's gorgeous. The weather's perfect too. Whoa, a parakeet!
I could live here.
That's you in every city.
No. You're just gonna stand like that? Okay.
My man pose. So many big dogs everywhere here. I think the average dog size in Barcelona is just much bigger than everywhere else. Mini ponies. How is it so green? What do you think makes the water so green? Is it just the bottom that's like painted green, you think? That we're walking so early in the morning, especially with the jet lag from Korea, because even now, and it's like 10 a.m. and it's still getting super hot. So I'm glad that we devoted out the middle chunk of the day to drive all the way up north. So something to think about. Big brain moves! This seems to be like the Chinatown area because you start seeing a lot of Chinese writings on stores and also a lot of good Asian food. I can smell it in the air like a hound. It's so weird to see Asian food in different countries, not in America, because that's like the only times that I've encountered it before. It's really cool to see how each cuisine adapted to the region and the palate of the locals. A lot of spaghetti actually, instead of lo mein, which I find so interesting. That's super cool. I would love to try like Chinese Spanish cuisine actually when we're back. That would be fun. Maybe we can grab a sandwich, or I'm gonna get chorizo iberico. You should try a foot sandwich. Or you can also get tortilla patata. and it's the most commonly eaten breakfast here in Barcelona. And we're gonna start our mornings right. Like the bread game here is so strong. It's like so crunchy, and you really don't have anything inside the sandwich other than ham and baguette and a little bit of olive oil to give it some moisture. Starting our first breakfast in like a Chinese deli, which is really common across all parts of Spain. Like a lot of the supermarkets, similar to how Koreans run supermarkets in LA. For here, it's a lot of Chinese people that immigrated over that run the supermarkets and also the laundromats and these kinds of like bars slash cafe slash snack bars around the city. You kind of start wondering how they ended up here, you know? I feel like when you think about immigration from a US standpoint, you think that everyone just immigrates to US, but once you step outside, you realize like the whole sphere of immigration is really like everywhere. Us Asians, we create businesses. Business. Yeah, Asian grocery store. Both Kevin and I are dreamers in the sense that whichever city we go to and it's like, if it's nice weather, we're like, we could live here.
Yeah.
I could see ourselves being happy here. So this is the backside of the cathedral that was built after Gaudi died. But then the main part of it is going to be on the other side, which we're gonna slowly make our way to. And of course, right in front of the most historical place on earth, Starbucks.
Always.
Always.
Always with you.
Always with you. The TikTok thing that everyone's doing. So you need to hold it low for me.
Yeah.
Go first. Kevin? Low-key Gaudi's sellout piece. Get it?
No.
Suarez. Checked out of the hotel. We're on our way to España station to pick up our rental car. Sans. I have a little confession to make. It's my dream to scream out, "Attenzione, pickpocket!" Citizens arrest. Attenzione, pickpocket! Attenzione, pickpocket! Attenzione!
Okay, you promised.
We're just trying to find our rental car now. And this place is massive, so it's gonna be interesting. Oh. Rental car is over there. Yeah. It must be there. We actually ended up getting super lost. It was so hard to find. Dude, our foxy ride. Wow. We're off to a rocky start.
My Tesla Starks. That's
Definitely no tourists in this area. So we're like 20 minutes drive away from the city center. One thing interesting about a lot of the tavernas, like the restaurants here in Barcelona, is that the open time is so funky. It's open from 12 to 5 and that's kind of the lunch time. And then it reopens at 9 p.m. and people eat lunch at 9. And it's crazy to think about like in Danish and Korean standards where we eat dinner by 6 p.m. or like 5 p.m. But it's really because the sun is so hot during this time of the day and there's nobody out. It really seems a bit like a ghost town. Ah, it's a school right here. Arroz con costillas and pollo and una cerveza. So they have a daily menu of $15 where you can choose an appetizer and entree. I got a little beer.
Yesterday.
You're driving. Cheers.
Cheers. Gosh.
Gracias. Ensalada. And then this is arroz con caldo, using the spare ribs and rice. Well cooked Spanish rice is not too mushy. Honestly, everything tastes good because there's just so much heat. Like the produce here is insane. It just makes all the food taste 50% better. But I must say, the rice is super good. Wow, look at those
So
grains. So at first I was like, why is there no mayo or ketchup? But then all the supplemental liquid of the cooking stock of slow braising the pork jowl. Similar to how Chinese people value the fish cheek the most, it's a muscle that doesn't get used a lot and it's fatty and it's tender. Well, and the idea of putting stock over fries is legendary. Thigh and the drum piece that they flattened out, butterflied. Nice char on it as well. Smokiness coming through. Spectacular. Wow.
Very good.
Now I understand why people in Spain need a little siesta nap after lunch. As Amélie said it, the crack of a creme brulee, the soft custard on the bottom with the crunchy bruleed sugar coating on top that adds like a nice crunchy, smoky flavor. It's like one of the best desserts I've tried. That was not very graceful.
Oh.
Cheesecake is so good.
Wow, cheesecake is one of the best cheesecakes I had.
I could definitely grow old and fat here. Just very casually sold at the gas stop.
Yeah. You're really hungry.
So these are the peppers that I've been absolutely loving. I could honestly see myself just taking this out of the jar and eating them straight. Asparagus. It's gigantic chocolate blocks too. I want to try this also. Yeah, that one looks cool. I've never seen flat almonds before. What the heck? It's called just Filipinos. Fueled up both in snacks and in gas, and I really want to try this Ruffles hamon flavor. It's like salty and kind of meaty, but I wish there was a little bit of acidity because like if it was just salty, I don't know, sometimes I want to balance it out. I'm giving it a 6.7 out of 10. Does it hurt?
No, his friends is lying in there.
Stop.
Wow.
Look at all our plums. So we picked them from the Airbnb that we were staying in front, had a gigantic sugar plum tree, and Kevin literally just stuffed them down his cargo pants, and I thought he was being absolutely crazy and absolutely greedy, but these are literally the best plums I've ever tried in my life. Like, the color on these is absolutely wild. Like, perfectly ripe. A little bitterness and sweet also. Literally like stained glass. The combination of the two together, like this, like sushi. Wow.
Holy Trinity here.
You get the saltiness, you get the meatiness, and the sweetness and a slight bitterness from the plums. And you get these perfect nuttiness to kind of hit the charcuterie trifecta. My world is complete. I was literally saying to Kevin, if I was born here and got used to this kind of produce, and mind you, like this is something that we got at a gas stop, and in like just like your garden in front, I would not be able to leave here. After eating produce like this, and this is your normal, and you go to Walmart and get shitty cheese and shitty ham and shitty nuts, you can never go back. It's also about accessibility, I think. That like, you can get this anywhere. Like the fat in this is so delicious. So flavorful.
A little stash here.
Travel essentials. Plums, nuts, water, sunglasses, and some salchichons on your lap. We're heading over to Donostia-San Sebastian, and right now we're in the heart of Basque country, and Basque country literally boasts some of the best cuisine in Spain, really straight out of a fairy tale. But now we're kind of heading towards the coast where it's a little more people and a beach coastal city. Barcelona is amazing, but I think the true beauty of Spain really lies in the countryside, and we only paid 250 euros for 13 days of renting out the car, but the caveat is you need to know how to drive manual, which I do not know how to do, and hopefully by the end of this trip I can kind of learn, but we'll see.
It's the European way.
It's the European way. I wouldn't be able to move out of here if I lived here.
No.
So this is quince jam, and quince, for those who are unfamiliar, is a type of varietal of an apple that's a little smaller and more tart. And whatever fruit you have that doesn't really taste that good on its own means that it lacks sugar content, and jam is the perfect way to supplement it because that's the sugar element, and all the more acrid flavors that's not good on its own, that's flavor when it gets cooked out with a little bit of sweetness, because you want something to balance out the sweetness. The croquettes though, so good. I could start every morning with a croquette. Every morning, I can start with a croquette. Wow. We're here at Bar La Vina to get a Basque cheesecake. Gracias. the Spanish way of eating with pintxos, with little bites here and there. I feel like it's very similar to how Koreans eat a banchan. You can kind of get a little bit of fried, a little bit of egg, and a little bit of fresh acidic vinaigrette as well. I love that it's so customizable. I'm waiting for the cheesecake to finish off the end, so yeah, don't touch my piece. It's a mussel croquette, and you can almost think of it as like clam chowder. It's like a shepherd's pie, but on the bottom, instead of bolognese or like the tomato meat sauce, it's finely diced mussels, and then on top is mashed potatoes, and then dressed in like a panko breadcrumb coating, and then deep fried. Honestly, cheesecake, very similar to Japanese style cheesecake. Surprisingly, it's very airy, and the eggs get a lot of air and volume, and then slowly incorporating the cheese. And you know this because when you pull it out of the oven, it's like super jiggly and really high in volume, but as it cools down, it deflates, kind of like a souffle. The cheesecake was phenomenal, but I actually think that the pintxos, the little small bites that they have, were fantastic. So again, today we are going to be walking 10K to burn off all the calories and to eat more cheesecake in San Sebastián.
I think we need to go 15K this.
so annoying. 진짜. Get off. For a swim, and that means it's time for some chocolate. What the fuck? It's white. The chocolate. It's white chocolate.
Ooh, nice. I went the wrong way. That's some chunk.
The thing is, there's these like little caramelized lemon peel chunks that add a bit of like bitterness, a nice bite to it. It's a little chewy, like fruit candy embedded inside the chocolate. And it's actually not too sweet. Yeah, it's very acidic. And a little bitterness at the end coming from the lemon peel, which like helps with like some of the overly sweet notes, which makes it really addicting. Oh, real good. We are heading out to dinner now. I booked us a place that really specializes in Basque cuisine, and since we are right next to the ocean, I really would love to get some Basque.
Fatigue, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Can you move your phone a bit? And can you move a little bit? Wow. Like, look how red that is. Wow. This gracefully.
Oh, getting now.
Like pasta. Like the fat is not only just a lubricant, but it's really the powerhouse of the flavor. It's like the mitochondria of flavor. A clam croquette. It's like a New England clam chowder that's been deep fried and battered. So can't go wrong, especially as a Connecticut girly. It's just like such a perfect palate cleanser. Like there's just nothing like it. Like my favorite beverage like rankings, number 1 was sparkling water, number 2 coffee, number 3 matcha, Pinot Noir, number 4. But then this, I like it better than water because I like dryness, bitterness, and acidity. So this is like literally the drink of my dreams, because water sometimes doesn't even like quench your thirst. I think one of my most favorite foods on earth is artichoke hearts because I never grew up with them. Like artichokes are something that's like not native to Korea. And whenever I have them, I think, oh my god, how could something that looks literally like both male and female genitals taste so delicious and so soft and supple? Do you see how juicy these clams are also? So it's the clams quickly cooked in butter. Really, it's hard to describe what an artichoke tastes like to somebody who's never had it before because it really doesn't taste like much, but it tastes like the Asian version of it would be taro. The clams, not too salty. The ocean's literally like 5 minutes away, so like that. Pure joy in a bite. One of the best things I've eaten in my life. Along with the ham earlier. It's good that I saved a little bit of the bread to absorb the sauce because, my dear, sauce is everything, along with hairstyle for women. Holy fuck. I'm so glad I ordered this. The first time I had artichoke hearts, or artichoke in general, was at church in Canada where a mom brought artichoke heart dip with sour cream and breadcrumbs on top, and my mind was freaking blown. How can we go back? How can we go back? Oh. Wow.
Be careful, it's very hot, eh?
Okay, gracias.
Uno más of the cider and uno más of the chacoli. So we ordered the sea bream and it's been grilled in one of the Spanish grills, which honestly looks like so wild. It really looks like something out of 50 Shades of Grey. You kind of like lower it down, and depending on how much you want to cook it, you really slow cook it on the embers, so you develop a lot of char, caramelization, and it's adjusted with the height, which I don't know why nobody else has thought about this. Anyways, sea bream. All the seafood here is one of the best I've ever tried. So San Sebastian is right where the Atlantic cold water ocean meets, and the amount of seafood that's available in abundance here is just crazy. Oh, the garlic olive oil is so good. We have a long walk ahead of us today. Long walk. And we're gonna order a dessert. Lemon sorbet with kava, a little boozy. What you would expect. It's good though. And our first flan of our Spain trip. It looks like your mom's silicone implants. Beautiful. Kind of looks like actually a mini version of the Basque cheesecake. I love flan. That's all I have to say. And it's always best when it's homemade. Ugly, but very good. Doing our night walk because Andrew Huberman, walking after a full meal reduces your glucose levels down. We walk to eat, we eat to walk. Not really the last part.
Oh, just the first.
Yeah. So cute. I guess it turns into a bar at night. Torta de queso, por favor. Quiche.
Quiche.
Ah,
It's a
okay.
quiche, yeah.
I'll get a quiche then. Yeah. Potatoes in this region are just unbeatable. It's so light and fluffy. It truly feels so special to come to a local cafe here in San Sebastian and starting off our morning with a nice torta. And all the locals are coming here for coffee in the morning and they know the owner, so it's a really cozy feeling, and it turns into a bar at night. This is so good. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm trying less to be like an obnoxious food YouTuber and more trying to just really like be cognizant of the space and enjoy it as is. But honestly, like, it's such a cute experience, and the quiche that I had inside the cafe was like unbelievably good. It was kind of an in-between. Like, it's funny because I use Asian food as descriptors, and I don't know if that's like a good way to describe food, but it was kind of somewhere in between like a Korean style steamed egg or like a chawanmushi in Japanese, you know, those like nice Japanese steamed egg. So it was kind of like that, and I don't know how they do it, but it was so fluffy and juicy, and you would get these mouthfuls of cheese and caramelized leeks. in between the bites, and the crust on that quiche was phenomenal. And the torta too, like something with the eggs here. I don't know if it's like the chickens here, if they're built different, but it tastes so good. Tuna sandwich was okay, so that's why I didn't talk about it. But honestly, like a great way to start off our morning. And so far we've not had a single bad meal. Basque country, I feel like the amount of care and dedication that people put into food, like this is really like the foodie capital of Spain, and it's kind of like harder to come to, and there's not as many tourists, but like it's such a worthwhile trip if you're into food and good culture. That's all I have to say. We're gonna get this little beach bag so that we can put some of the ciders and do a picnic for our road trip. He also makes these like hand-carved spatulas, and I'm very particular with what I like in terms of like spatulas and kitchen utensils, but these I'm absolutely loving. I like the sharp edge also. Oh, don't mind me and my Hamptons look. Martha Stewart, or Martha stewed kimchi. You know what? China garden. I'm very particular with kitchenware, and the moment I saw these glasses, I fell in love because they're thin enough where the mouthfeel is really nice, and because you aerate the cider, you need a little bit of that height so that it doesn't splash over, and it slightly flares, so it means that it can be stacked together, and this is perfect. This is literally the cup of my dreams, and it's also something very special to here, and they're hella cheap. So we're gonna get 6 of the big ones and then 6 of the smaller ones. I'm gonna use this for everything. I'm so happy that we found these. Is it a video?
Yeah.
Oh. Can I get an actual photo though?
Where are you going? Bilbao? Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then if you...
Super cool shop, and I picked up a book about pintxos, which is tapas, but it's different, and that's what the book explains. So I'm gonna be reading it throughout our road trip to learn more about it, because I am so in love with San Sebastian, and the shop owner knew was a little doobie. So yeah, super cool shop, and I would definitely recommend if you love food and you want to pick up a edible souvenir, definitely come check it out. It's literally the most iconic moment in pop culture history.
Oh.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians was the vlog. The vlog. I'm a woman of culture with a K for Korea and Kim Kardashian. And Kevin. Honestly, like San Sebastian is such a magical city. And also, ever since we started doing like the 10K walk a day thing during our trip, it's also allowed us to really traverse through the smaller roads, and it's the side alleys that have so much history and also like, I don't know, human touch to it. Absolutely gorgeous. And I love that it's like not swelteringly hot either. Like it's actually very nice and just very easy to walk around in, especially in this kind of weather. So you get a little bit of everything. We're going some meat. freaking meat mountain. Gracias. I like it when steak is kind of like almost like tartare-ish. Like there's so much flavor in it also, and the crust on it is insane. Holy smokes. The bitterness of the padron peppers with the smokiness and the meatiness is like such a godly combination that you cannot believe. And like it's something that you need to try when you come to Spain. Like the steakhouses here and the culture of grilling is just on another level. And I want you to see the fat cap on these too. Like they're so big, and when he brought out the steak earlier, like the fat was yellow, which means that the cow was aged, and it's not like that had a good life, you know? That fat cap tells a story. Yeah, we're gonna go home 10 kilos heavier and happier. Meat along the bone, for me, is my favorite always. It's officially my favorite city in the whole wide world. You might be wondering, Tina, why did you not have dinner last night? Well, what ended up happening was we walked 20 kilometers yesterday and my body started revolting against me. And when I mean revolting, I mean diarrheaing. I almost passed out last night because I thought I was gonna shit my pants. But today's a new day, and the first step of becoming stronger is to beat your natural enemies, and here I am, and we are going to meet it headstrong by going and getting a cup of coffee and hoping for the best that my gastroenteritis does not act up, because you're getting tough love, baby. Tough love. This is Kevin whenever we go to the bakery.
Butter, sugar, and wheat.
Butter, sugar, wheat.
Butter, sugar.
Wheat. Hola, una croissant and palmera.
Vale. Chocolate?
Yes.
You want white bread or brown bread?
Brown bread is good.
Yeah, brown bread I have like this, with cereals, with seals.
Okay.
This one is with rye and spelta.
Spelta.
It's nice.
Okay.
It's not seals, but it's nice. It's,
What is
And
your
what's
favorite?
sopaco?
Sopaco is not to eat, it's to cook.
Oh.
Yeah, it's for do the soup.
Oh,
yeah,
I
it's
see.
a special bread
sopa.
for sopa.
Okay.
Yeah, fish soup.
Maybe that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
stamp one.
That's so good. I want to try this pastel Basque. Oh yeah, why don't you get the gâteau Basque?
Yeah.
It's a Basque cake.
Maybe I order one of these.
Yeah, this is
good?
There are cookies with
This is what we usually do when we go to bakeries with Kevin. Kevin initially is like, no, I don't want carbs, and then we end up just leaving with a literal basket full of it. Okay, really like the pain au chocolat that she cut in half and then toasted. Resourceful, and it's gonna be crispy, so I like that. Crunchy, lovely, lovely chocolate flavor, and nothing like I've tried before actually. We should start doing this.
Very good.
So many locals coming in to get something a little sweet, and also bread for the day. So this is the palmas, and you can see the layers of the puff pastry that's just been kind of put into like a snail shape, and there's like a crispy, crunchy sugar mixture that's layered on top as well, and it's literally butter, eggs, and a little bit of flour. Crunchy, a little dry, but it's perfect for a cup of coffee. And we're gonna go get one at the cafe nearby. And the rest of the things, we'll try it in the car on our drive down to Bilbao. We're gonna get some pintxos before we go. I feel like pintxos is the definition of like girl dinner because I don't want like a big portion of one thing. I want to just have some like snack and nibbles, and for me, like during the summer, it's like the perfect thing to eat. Wow, because my god, dude. I'm sorry. I forgot to film the croissant because it was literally the best croissant of my life. It was soft and pillowy, and all the croissants that you get in South Korea are crispy and very Instagrammy. But my favorite croissants are always like a bit pillowy and soft. And this wasn't like too unctuous in butter either, and it was freaking perfect. And I know that the interior of the place is kind of outdated, but that's also the beauty of it and the charm of it, and the pastries speak for itself. Like the bread and everything that we got, superb. Superb, superb, superb. This is what is left of the cake. But the Basque cake, it's actually ooey and gooey on the inside. Here, let me show you. You get these black specks, which are the vanilla pods. It's like a custard inside, and it's made with almond flour. It tastes like a soft macaroon. It's a high moisture cake, and it's really velvety, the whole experience. It actually tastes a lot like the banana pudding sold at Magnolia Bakery in New York. Don't you agree?
I've never tried that banana cake.
You got that. You are... This literally looks like Philadelphia. Bilbao is giving me hella Philly cheesesteak vibes. So I think it's because both Bilbao and Philly are industrial cities that's like very old and is giving me hella Philly vibes. That's cool.
Guggenheim.
Super hard.
Should I try?
You should try.
Get it. And a burger is like an onion. It has layers. Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
It's kind of like the alocasia plant that I killed in my house, named Bitch. So I called her a thirsty bitch. Yeah, Monstera?
Yeah, Monstera.
Monstera or alocasia? No. Alocasia, is that a disease where your hair falls out? Ah, it's a badminton cock.
Det står det badminton.
Cock.
You call it that?
Yes,
Cock.
cock. Can you say that one more time?
Cock. Wild shuttlecock. Shuttlecock. I never knew.
In Korean, we call it shuttlecock.
They look good, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of olives also, and maybe one cheese. Have you seen the tuna paste? Is that it?
Wow, big boy glass. So we ordered a little bit of pintxos because honestly, looking at art is great, but there's this Korean saying that 금강산도 식후경, which means you can enjoy the beauty of the Kumgang mountain after you're full. Because when you're hungry, you can't really enjoy art. And not gonna lie, towards the end, we were a little bit impatient because we skipped lunch and we were a little hungry. So we got a bunch of pintxos from the Guggenheim bar and they honestly look amazing. So we got a crab tartlet with actual crab meat and parsley sprinkled on top. Obviously some pickled olives, anchovies, and pickled peppers, which are my favorite. Some more olives with marinated mozzarella, peppers, and anchovy again. And this one is again anchovy with kind of a pate of aubergine and tomato. And oh, obviously I got my first sangria of my Spain trip because it looked really good. So beautiful. And there's like a part of it where the museum itself is an art, like a work of art, like all the architecture and the steel and the surroundings of it with the beautiful city of Bilbao in the background. Pretty amazing, actually. It's like a deconstructed crab cake, but better. Honestly, I want some rice with this filling, wrapped in a nori.
You say that with everything that tastes
I'm
good.
starting to miss rice a little bit, but it's really good. Big chunks of crab meat in it too. Do you see the big chunks of crab meat on this? These are my favorite.
Yeah. What was your favorite installation in there?
I like the steel one, but I also love the soft shuttlecock a lot. I just love this eating culture so much. Like I want to nibble, always. I love these like big anchovies. Like they would have grossed me out hella, even a couple of years ago. But now I'm a part of a tin fish ally. This is good. I like the tomato base. The mixture on the bottom is so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's like a cold ratatouille almost.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of a ratatouille and a pepperette.
So beautiful. The city has everything. Good food and art. I'm a patron of the arts. I bought a painting yesterday. I bought this book in Spanish, and this is a very, very important children's book for me because it was my first English book that I got to learn how to read and write. And do you see the shopping bag for this? I'm gonna learn Spanish like hella. Like hella. That made me realize how much I love humans and our little stupid idiosyncrasies in life. A lot of local pride to be felt in these streets because you can see the athletic club of Bilbao flags everywhere, and also the Basque country flags too. So much pride and a lot of posters for independence as well. So lively right now, Sunday night. we were unsuccessful in finding a place in Bilbao for dinner on a Sunday. We're heading over to Vitoria, which is another smaller city like an hour away, and trying to kill some time because we got stuck in that like really shitty in-between hour between 4 to 8 p.m. where no restaurants are open and all the kitchens are closed. And we're staying in Vitoria tonight before we head on over to Madrid. And there's some cute restaurants, and I like going to restaurants in smaller cities because it's, I don't know, there's a certain magic to it. I can literally drink cider over water, which is always a little dangerous, especially for me because, you know me, I get that Asian glow, so it means that I am definitely a lightweight, but you know what? When in Spain, not in pain. We ordered so much food. So we ordered the chorizo and also some of the lamb chops. And the lamb chops is what's very, very famous here. What's really special about this place is that they roast the lamb chops over grapevine branches. And the whole restaurant is so fragrant. It's like really like nice and smoky. And even like the grills that he has, it's actually so amazing. We also got a bunch of sides. So we got the leeks. And these are confit leeks with peppers on top. Like the thing is, leeks are so juicy and soft and buttery when it's cooked low and slow, and it has a really nice sweetness to it. Absolutely delicious. It's soft, it's buttery, there's a little bit of acidity at the end. It's like marinated confit leeks. It's so good. A little bit of the jamon. This is lamb. Almost has a little bit of that gaminess, but in a really, really nice way. Kind of almost reminds me of tuna. It's a little bit of that mineral taste, but it is so, so nice. Pimentos. And these are, again, char and grilled. You can see some of the char marks here. You peel off the burnt skin, and inside you're left with this beautifully, almost steamed pimento peppers that kind of steams in its own juice. Like this, and because I'm Korean, I'm gonna do a little sam action. The sweetness and like this slight fruity tanginess that comes from the peppers is so good. And the slightly mineral flavors of the lamb ham. It is so special.
It's actually one of my favorite meals so far in Spain.
Yeah, me too.
Wow. Everything is so on point and perfectly balanced and flavored.
Oh.
This is fantastic.
Gracias. Crust on these are incredible. Smelling so, so good. It's the best lamb I've ever had in my life. So this is a meal I'm gonna remember for a long, long time. The lamb is special. I'm in pure bliss right now. Marinated leeks are phenomenal, but I love these pimentos actually. We didn't even know that it was a Michelin 1-star. We found out when we arrived.
Some of the best I had so far.
Honestly, I've always shat on rice puddings until Kevin has made his Danish risalamande, which is a Danish specialty. And this is arroz con hello, which is condensed milk with rice. And it is a rice pudding with cinnamon sprinkled on top.
Wow.
I like how the rice isn't like too overly mushy, you know? In complete honesty, we wanted to get another dessert called oschwaga, which is their specialty item. But they ran out.
Recommended by the...
Yeah, recommended by the table behind us, and they got 3, and we didn't make the cut. Yeah. Wow, super special. Worth making the trip down to Vitoria. Good morning. We're in Vitoria, and it is the old capital of Basque country, and you can see some of the remnants of the capital. It does feel like the smaller city than Bilbao, but there's a certain charm to it and tranquility. This is going to be our final stop for Basque country. So we really want to make sure that we get all the food that we need to eat. Since we're in like the heart of Basque country where game and pastures are surrounding us, we're going to have some blood sausage. We're going to have stew, a very special dessert called Ushwa, which is the specialty of Vitoria, and we need to try that. But yeah, let's go get our first meal of the day. Milk foam and sugar on your first sip of your cappuccino. That is my favorite.
This is actually really good.
This is the bacalao tortilla. So the tortilla, as opposed to a torta, is flatter, and bacalao is the salted cod that's very famous in this region. Background people demonstrating for pension. I feel like I'm really in Europe right now. Like it's the full experience. You know, a cappuccino, a nice omelette, and people demonstrating in the background about pensions. So this is torresmo, which is cured ham. It's cured pork belly that's been almost like oven fried, so you get that super crispy skin. It's like the marriage between bacon and crispy pork. Our first Oshua of Vitoria, with the beautiful cathedral in the background. Couldn't get more perfect than this. Maybe like this is more perfect. Oh, it's quite thick. And there's almost like a... Whoa! So there's like 3 layers, almost like a dulce de leche. So on top is flan, and then there is a sponge cake and a whipped cream of some sort, and it's glazed with a brown sugar glaze on top. That's beautiful. I love layers because ogres have layers too. I think there's a little bit of almond extract in it that's really making it like very aromatic. That's what I really like about desserts here in Spain, is that it uses a lot of egg. It is not like overly sweet. I'm like not really that much of a cookie and American frosting type of person. I don't know what it is. There's a little bit of actually cool mintiness to it. I'm even gonna go so far as to say that I like it better than leche flan, just flan in general.
Much better.
Yeah, because there's more layers. Yeah. And the sponge cake in the middle is really, really nice because there's more than just the pudding itself. And I think this setting also makes it even more delicious. And having it here in the hometown, in Vitoria, the capital of Basque country.
I want to try all the other things.
No, we promised ourselves that we weren't going to do that. So the problem that we've been having yesterday and the day before is that we would get too excited and go to a bakery or like a pintxos bar and just order a fuck ton and then get too full to eat lunch somewhere in between 12 to 4, but then we would get hungry around 5 o'clock, but then there would be nowhere to be open, and then we would literally just not be able to eat dinner and just be really grumpy and sad. Pretty accurate as to what happened. But yesterday we got in lucky because we literally got in at like the last closing time at like 9:30 at 8. But yeah, so we are not going to eat more pastries until lunchtime. And lunch starts at 1 o'clock here. You know, we're pretending like we didn't even eat like some of the things actually earlier. We ate like 2 things, and that's probably like lunch for most people with the dessert. But we're like, no, that's breakfast. That's strictly breakfast. We are going to have lunch around 2 or 3 p.m. and let's walk it off. Our 10K starts again now. Do you know death grips? Guillotine? Guillotine! You don't know what I'm talking about?
Look how they have carved it in there so the cake can slide down.
Kevin always ignores me. He walked away saying, only when there's a castle. Why were there suddenly so many children at the bars? Super medieval. It's an old staging post restaurant. So this is the changuro, which is the famous crab of Basque country. So this is all the crab meat made into kind of like almost like a paste. Decadent, very crabby, but not in a crappy way. I love how all the dishes here in Spain, it really like prioritizes the taste of the ingredient first more than technique. There's a lot of technique, yes, but it's to enhance the original flavors of the ingredient. So this is a bean soup made with pork and beans. All the things that you see here. So this is a blood sausage filled with the pig's blood. And this is the prime piece, which is the pork belly that's been cured and roasted. The star of Spanish cooking, which is the chorizo. And because all of this is quite heavy, you have some of the pickled vegetables in the center to offset the heavy flavors of the meat. Okay, let me try the bean soup. So nice. I really love the presentation of the entire dish and everything about it because it utilizes all parts of the pig. You have the bones that's used for the stew, you have the blood and the belly and all the other parts that's cured and made into links. It's just a beautiful representation of really honoring the animal and the environment. I'm gonna try the blood sausage. So it's filled with rice and blood. It tastes really similar to a Korean dish, Korean street food called sundae actually. It's so good. Like the rice kind of gets mushy and gets cooked in with the blood and it kind of absorbs it as a coagulant instead of like the more crumbly texture that sometimes the blood gets. So it's the mixture of the starch and the blood that makes it really nice and soft. So crazy that it stays intact. It doesn't just fall apart. Like the cross section on this is wild. This is bacalao in pil sauce. And bacalao is the specialty salted cod of this region. And the sauce that's drizzled over is not hollandaise, but it's pil sauce. So pil sauce is made with stewing the bones of the cod for a long time, making a stock out of it, and slowly emulsifying olive oil into it, kind of almost like a mayonnaise. And by disturbing it, as in stirring the sauce constantly, it emulsifies and becomes cohesive. They say that the sauce was developed by sailors who were cooking it low and slow and realized that the movement of the ocean would cause the sauce to emulsify into this beautiful cohesive sauce. So the reason why it does that is because cod has a lot of collagen. So collagen is an emulsifier, making everything, water and fat, binding it together with some help from stirring it. What's really interesting about bacalao, which is used in tortillas and tortas kind of as a salting agent, this one is lightly salted. It's slightly salted, and what the salt does is actually draw out the moisture from the fish, making the texture a little bit more firm. The reason why it's so yellow is because of the olive oil that's emulsified in. It means it's a really, really good, high quality olive oil. A little bite to it almost gets this like meaty texture. And the sauce is so good. It's not one of those sauces that's like mac and cheese sauce that's like intense in flavor, but it's very nuanced. Wow. This with some rice Wrapped in seaweed. What?
You said it with every single dish you like.
I know. Ye shall keep thy orders. I sound like lemongrab now.
Wow.
Another pastry break.